A little over a week ago, this podcast was banned from YouTube for a week because we dared to watch a 101-year-old film on stream. Well, joke's on you, YouTube. I made more money being banned than I would have otherwise. You ground me, but you forgot I got a Sega Genesis in my room. Well, now we're back, and we're headed to the French Alps to cinematically relive my marriage. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back to your Half-Ass Movie Podcast, you dirty babies. It's a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Portress, and joining me today, if he leaves during the show, I hope he's got a really good excuse. Sweet Sean Zakovacs from the internet.
Wait a minute. The little girl's name is Vera? You named your baby Vera?
And he's always outside the hotel room in his underpants. Bruce Leslie.
They gave me a chicken sticker, and it made me happy.
Hey, listen, it's the little things in life. We are back, everybody. We got our new series that we're calling Foreign Films that you'd recommend to non-cinephiles. And this week, we are headed to Sweden with Force Majeure. Bruce, what brought this one about, my friend?
Well, it kind of sounds high concept, but it actually triggers a lot of thought and conversation. But the biggest part is I remembered it being I remembered laughing a little bit more than I used to.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that because there was something that I was thrown astray by in this movie, and we'll talk about it. Now, normally my tact of knowing zero things going in helped and hurt me this time. So I'm just gonna it's gonna be interesting, but we'll get to all that kind of good stuff. But before we do, I do want to remind everybody that this show is again now streaming on YouTube. Between what Bruce and I did on Christmas and then what I did on New Year's, YouTube was just like, man, we can't take y'all no more, man. This is no good. We are banning you for a week. And then all of a sudden I make a whole bunch of money. I don't know. I think Sean would say that means I should stop doing all kinds of videos and just keep receiving the money instead of putting more stuff out there and getting less money. I think that's what he would normally say, right?
First of all, you're showing your hand at how very angry you're smiling, but how very angry you are at YouTube right now.
A little bit. I was a little bit.
You are very, very, very angry with YouTube. I didn't realize just how angry until you brought it up 3 times this episode alone. So I'm like, oh, wow, he's really actually very, very angry. He's smiling right now, but he's smiling. The smile isn't hitting his eyes. so
burning through to your soul, YouTube. You know what you did.
That only happens with psychopaths and with very, very angry people. Mm-hmm. So here we are. Now, do I think that you need to make more videos? Dude, you do whatever the hell you want. If it was really, really like making me angry, I wouldn't be here. But like, look, do I think that you're going down a path of well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I am glad to be here. Thank you.
We'll be fine. Everything is A-okay now. And you know what you need to do? You need to hit that hype button, especially if you're on that mobile there and everything. Hit the hype button. That is what helps get these small channels like us out there. And frankly, we're better than a lot of the big channels. And for whatever reason, we haven't caught on yet. And we need some help, and we can get that help from you hitting the like and subscribe button as well as the hype button, all that kind of good stuff.
I've got some ideas why that is, but let's keep going.
Shut up. We got more people watching this show right now than we have in weeks, I tell you. So we're doing something right. Thank you for all the support over there. Seriously, we really do appreciate all the nice things and everything that people support us over there. And support us over at patreon.com/HMP. Get pre-show, post-show Dinger Zone. And of course, this week's Dinger Zone, we're going to be talking I didn't change it in the script here. We have our top 5 movies that made you think. Things that make you go, You remember that song from the 90s? That was all about cheating.
Just a quick break. You guys chat amongst yourselves.
It was also an Arsenio Hall bit. Things that make you go,
I think Arsenio stole that. Why don't you also head on over to our T Public page there and get yourself some HMP merch if indeed you like to. A Sean Love Spaceship shirt got sold. I know that much.
Nice.
So, there are people out there. If you like the bull crap that we do here and, for whatever reason you want to support that and let other people in your vicinity know of the quality with which you take, part in every week, head on over to the TeePublic there and help us out. We really appreciate that. And, of course, patreon.com. Pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone, you know the deal. We really appreciate that and love you folks very, very much. Let's get into it. Let me change my little pages here and everything. We're going to go boop, 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 and read the IMDb plot line for our movie. What do you call it here? Force Majeure. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A family vacationing in the French Alps is confronted with a devastating avalanche, which is funny, and I'll get into that. Wasn't quite the description that I read on other things, but we'll get into that. This is written and directed by Ruben Osterlund, who has done some Swedish films most of us Americans have never even heard of, but he did a movie called The Triangle of Sadness, which I'm pretty sure was a documentary about my life. I've made that joke during a Criterion sale.
Watch out, comedy coming through.
It's fun, everybody. This is starring, here's a whole bunch of Swedish names for you. Jonas Kullakum, sure. Lisa Lovin Konskali. These always work better when I'm not on air. On air, it is effed up a million times a Sunday. And Karen Meyerberg Faber. Sure, why not? It's
Nailed it.
What can I say? I'm the best at all of the names.
The only name that matters is Tormund from Game of Thrones. He steals the movie.
Yeah, and honestly, okay. So here's what I want to show you this. Because this is what I saw when I tuned into the what do you call it there? The iTunes
IMDb?
And everything. Well, it was specifically like what was going on with the iTunes and whatever you say, like, hey, I'd like to see this thing, and they go, oh, okay, there you go. This wickedly funny and I started right there and I stopped and I didn't read really anything else after that, and I was just like, oh, it's wickedly funny. This should be really, really great. I am waiting for the funny to happen in this film for so long. I'm just like, what in the hell is going on here? I am so rip shit at like where the humor is supposed to be. I am so mad at this movie because I'm thinking there's got to be something that's going on. And homie from Game of Thrones, wasn't he also in The Hobbit? Am I crazy in thinking that?
I don't know about that, but I do know
anybody that kind of looked like that was put in that movie. Let's be frank. But he has the one line that comes an hour into the movie where he's basically like, I don't know, maybe you just wanted to shovel him out or something. That was like 1 hour into the movie. I'm like, thank Christ, maybe we're going to be hilarious from here on out. No, we were not. But we'll get into it.
So at any point during this, Adam, were you puzzled about why they thought Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus were the perfect leads for the American English language version of this?
That's absurd.
Downhill.
Yeah.
Downhill, starring Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is an attempt to adapt this for American audiences.
Is she not a decade older than him?
She got Seinfeld money, man. She looks great.
No, I'm not saying she's not.
Before we go off the rails here, I gotta bring this up because the movie Downhill, I wanted to look at IMDb user reviews for this movie. And it's how you would think it would go, where 90% of people are saying, just skip this and watch Force Majeure, like that kind of thing. But then we run across 2 stars, not a comedy. Here he goes. I thought this was a comedy. It is not. Also, it is not a drama. It's like watching a home movie with 2 people who don't really love or like each other very much. And then nothing happens. 2 of my favorite comedic actors are in this bucket of boredom, and that makes me sad. That is a great review. That is great review of that movie.
Wildly accurate. Wildly.
So, Bruce, you had seen this before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I'd seen this movie before. And you're saying that you remembered it differently the first time you saw it.
Yes.
Me too.
Good. I think that it has, I don't know, maybe it was something about the time in which I saw it, but it seems like it had a different impact on the first watch when you didn't quite know where it was going and what was happening. And what made me laugh the first time around made me laugh mainly because it seemed like a different point of view from mine, but you only get that. It's like watching The Sixth Sense for a second time. You know,
Right.
you're just not as enthralled when you know what's going on. But I remember thinking it was hilarious. Well, when he did a George Costanza, since maybe that's why Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in the Downhill movie, because this movie probably would have been more impactful if Costanza hadn't done it first at that children's birthday party. But I immediately thought of the Seinfeld episode. I'm laughing. I'm like, the guy's pulling a Costanza, because I knew nothing about it. I thought it was, I just heard, you know, it's this really cool European movie that's getting an American remake. And I thought, well, I better check it out. I want to be one of the cool guys who can say the original one was better. And you can't do that unless you watch the original one.
Oh, you can.
And
the internet has told us many times that you can do that. You shouldn't, but you
the
can.
other part that just, I was laughing hard the first time I saw it is when, you know, they have the whole conversation with the two couples, and then Tormund and his girlfriend are leaving, and she looks at him and says, I think you'd do that too. And he just like got the other guy stink on him. He's like, what did I do? Why am I under attack? And then he spends all night, won't go to sleep, yelling at her because he got the stink on him from the other guy. And maybe I related a little too much to that situation or something, but I just found it hilarious that he just couldn't let it go. And also it's like, why did she have to put the other guy's stink on him and then compare him to a 21-year-old? And I don't think I realized the first time through like I did this time, but that whole 20-year age gap never really gets addressed a whole lot between Tormund and his date.
Yeah, so let's real quick for people that may not have seen this film and everything, just to give kind of a quick idea of what kind of goes on here. So we've got this family, a husband and wife, and their two little kids. They're going on a ski vacation, and you know what's better than going to the French Alps for a ski vacation, especially if you're Swedish. I feel like that's in your blood there and everything. So they're going there. They're having an okay time. You can tell that the marriage is a little bit kind of on the skids here and everything. The wife certainly, I'm watching this going like, all of this seems very familiar. There's so many things where I'm just going like, I know exactly what the story doesn't have to tell me anything. I'm reading it right here because I have lived this. I know exactly what's happening right now. So the marriage is kind of rocky there and everything. So they're out, they skied a little bit and everything. They're having lunch. And as they're having lunch there and everything, throughout this ski, the whole, Alps there and everything, they have controlled demolitions and stuff, controlled avalanches to keep things safe, which is something that they've always done for quite some time there. And they've been pretty darn good at it. So as they're sitting eating their lunch and everything, one of these, planned explosions goes off and everything starts billowing down towards them. And it's like, oh, don't worry, these guys, everything looks, they know what they're doing over there. And it's getting closer and closer and closer. And it's like, you even start to go like, oh shit, what's going on here? Or what's happening? It is coming closer. This giant, massive wall of, snow and everything is hitting. And you think, oh shit, everything's going down. And then what happens after that, I would like to say, is left up to interpretation, but it is not. They absolutely show you everything that goes on here, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because I think it's good because we absolutely know what happened. It's bad because we absolutely know what happened, and we get to look at a crazy person and say, and try to gaslight us for fucking 2 hours at this point of like, that never happened. We saw it happen in front of our faces and everything.
Can't you relate? I mean, haven't you known folks like that?
Oh yeah.
And before we move on too far, I just want to say that I thought that the avalanche looked beautiful. I love that shot. I love how the whiteout comes over the.
Very cool.
Like, I'm really kind of curious how they captured that. But that one has impressed me the first time, really impressed me the second time around. I watched it on a little bigger, better television. And I love that whole sequence of the filming the avalanche just rushing towards them. And I can imagine how scary that would be. And then when it hits the platform and they've got whiteout conditions. But my take home message from this movie is, if you dine at a ski resort, dine indoors, not on the deck.
Nah, man, you got to have that charade moment, man. Where you're eating outside there and you think you Cary Grant and whatnot. That's what it's all about. But yeah, that's got to be an amazingly scary sort of thing. And so the mom shelters down with the kids there and everything, and dad in his ski boots and everything takes off.
He gets his iPhone first. He doesn't want to lose his phone. That's the best part.
Takes his phone.
It's not like he panicked. He thought, oh, I better protect my phone. And I think it's kind of the coding for how he is a materialistic person.
Yeah.
And rather than her looking inward and saying, well, I did marry this guy, she tries to put the blame on him for being who he is, which, some people are dirtbags. Some people are cowards. Some people are wholly awesome people. But at the end of the day, there's some things that take a lot of work to change, and those people don't want to put that work into it. And I can relate sometimes, but that's what I liked about it is how much she is just disappointed in him to a huge degree. But then we get some symmetry in this movie, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do kind of like the arc that takes place with the wife.
So the thing that I remember about this movie the first time around that I misremembered is that the wife is a harpy, right? That's what I thought I remembered this movie being, but she's not at all. Like she's kind of like just letting him have his own, like basically like, no. I was perfectly normal during that situation. Like she lets him like go on and on and on until she gets drunk. And then all the truth comes out later. But I remembered her just just nagging on him about it. And that doesn't happen in this movie. I also remember this movie being funnier than it actually is. I think it is it does the movie a disservice to call this a comedy. I think the setup for it is like, if you're describing it to someone what this movie is, it seems like a really funny premise to a movie. It's just that it's not played as a comedy at all. Like none of this movie is played for a comedy. And whether you're doing it like, like straight faced or like, hey, isn't this hilarious what we're doing? It's neither way, right? It's literally it's a dramatic movie.
It makes me think or wonder, not really think, but it makes me wonder what comedic sensibilities are in Scandinavia. I mean, because this is definitely in Europe called a black comedy. And I think some people, maybe in some places that have survived some stuff that maybe we don't or haven't or whatever, it's still in living memory, some pretty bad things. Maybe they do have this weird ability to laugh at tragedy differently than we do. I don't know. Like they might think, why do so many Americans laugh when somebody gets hit in the balls with a baseball bat? Well, because it's hilarious.
It works on so many levels.
To them, it's hilarious to watch a family dissolve in front of their children. Traumatized kids.
Their family is falling apart. Isn't it hilarious? It's great Swedish.
They just laugh at Tormund's beard the whole time. That's what they find funny.
The thing about this movie for me, and it's the weird, did I just blink out?
No, you're good.
Nope, you're there.
So the weird thing about this movie to me is people tell on themselves when it comes to this film. Like there's people who don't like it, right? Like, I was talking to MVD through instant message, and he doesn't like this movie because he doesn't like the way that this family treats their own personal drama around the people who are working in the hotel.
Can I read?
Totally.
Give me half a second. I want to. He's dropped a thing in the chat. I'll read his chat specifically. MVD says, for me, there's an additional reason why I didn't enjoy this. I've worked in hotels for 19 years, and I can't stand it when someone brings me into their personal drama.
Right,
now,
and that's a perfectly reasonable explanation for why somebody doesn't like this movie. Right. Maybe you don't like the movie because the movie is too long. Maybe you don't like the movie because you can see the end coming from 15 miles away. But the thing that this movie tells on people is when people are like, I just really, really hate this movie. I hate it. It's always a dude. It's always a dude who's like, I hate this movie with a blinding passion. I hate it. Well, guess what, sir? I know why you don't like this movie very much, because it made you think icky thoughts, it's that kind of thing. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I like this movie more than dislike this movie. I don't love this movie. I just like it. It's one of those movies where you're like, this is the second time I've seen it. I'm never going to watch this movie again, like ever.
Boy,
I will
I'm
never watch this movie.
so glad I rented because I toyed. I was like, it's got 97%. It's a comedy. So fuck, I'm going to want to watch it all the time. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to err on the side. I'm just going to rent. Thank Christ. Halfway through, I was just like, man, if I would have bought this, I'd have been so pissed. I was so pleased with myself to spend $4 as opposed to $12.
I watched it on Hulu with commercials, and I'm not sure what I've done to make Hulu think this, but they think I'm a Spanish-speaking lawyer who's obsessed with sex. Because, man, they showed me the same 3 commercials over and over again. One was for Practice Panther, which is some kind of software for legal offices, which I have no use for.
Financial
the other one was
Panther,
like for boner pills, and then there was something in Spanish language about treatment for ED. So, yeah.
It's no bueno.
So one of the reasons why I think one of the main reason why I like this movie, besides the fact that it's shot beautifully, it's a very well shot movie. But what I like about it is that it literally, after you're done watching it, it makes you think about that situation. Like, which one of my friends, who's at the top of the list of my friends that I think would bolt in that situation, like stuff like that, because I think that for 99% of men, they think, oh, I would totally stick around and say, like, help save my family, or think I was saving my family. Mm-hmm. But that's not the part. It's the other part. It's the part of like, which one of my friends is going to be the first person that, like, at the top of the list of people I think would bolt. And when I was explaining that to my wife about like how this movie makes you think, she was like, so you guys are going to talk about which one of you 3 is the most to bolt, right? And I was like, no, because we already know who the number 1 person is that we all think is going to be the one to bolt. And it's not even a question of who that would be. And so and she was like, oh, okay. And she's like, so who of your friends? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you that. I don't want you to think about him in that light. That I'm pretty damn sure that guy would bolt if it looked like his life was on the line. And so she was like, okay. And it's part of the fun of this movie to me is what it makes you think about after you've seen it. It's actually the fun of this movie is everything you think after you've seen it.
Part of it too is really it's as much as the kind of the horribleness of running away from your family in this time of crisis instead of guarding and helping, you are running and fleeing. The thing that's even that I think is almost even worse than that and is more egregious is his just actual denial of what actually happened. It's like, if you would have just said, I was out of my mind, if you were really repentative of what you did and just go like, and just, as I would hope one would just be like, my stupid survival instincts kicked in. I hate myself for this. Trust me, it is going to be very difficult for me to have to try to earn the trust of you and the kids and stuff back. I hate that. You have to you got to double down on you being a fucking moron, and you need to, if it happens, it happens. But you also just need to take accountability for that and show that you want to, make an effort going forward to better yourself. And instead, this guy just goes like, no, I got an alternate reality on this one. He's someone who used the word "my truth."
Yeah.
He was like that Shaggy song. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's his whole defense.
It's like, well, what, and the worst part is just he doesn't even offer a true alternative to anything. He just goes like, nuh-uh. That's it. That's his defense.
I thought you
nuh-uh.
guys were right behind me.
Yeah.
He could have tried something.
But the most hilarious part is your Game of Thrones boy just going he's trying to be the most courteous gentleman that he possibly can. It's be like, listen, I think ultimately what he's trying to do is just de-escalate the situation, try to make everything cool. It's like, I don't want to be in this uncomfortable ass weekend. Maybe we can just, I don't know, you were running away so you could dig him out later. What the fuck? I'm like, that's great though. I love how stupid that is, but he's just like, he's desperately trying to just be like, can we just cool this whole thing out here so I don't have to live in this hell for the next couple of days?
I wonder what made the Game of Thrones folks watch, like, because this is out before Game of Thrones. When's Force Majeure come out?
It's post Game of Thrones, but it might be
post Game of Thrones.
I mean, it's during the production, because Game of Thrones, man, it started like 2010 or 9 or something. What's the year on this movie?
All right, let's see. It's 2014, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones was on when I still lived in Charlotte. And I left Charlotte in 2011.
But
Game of Thrones is 2013.
Okay. Well, I was wrong. It was not on in 2011. And Tormund may not have been on Game of Thrones yet in that first season.
I don't think he is, but what do I know?
Yeah, because it's not until they go to the Wildlings Beyond the Wall and everything. But the Tormund definitely was the part of the movie that gave me what little bit of joy I could derive from it. Just the whole idea, like, I feel like I've been in that situation where someone gets mad at me for what they imagine I would do. And there's no getting away from it. You can't talk them out of it. Yet for some reason, there's a certain mindset or type of person. I hope I've grown past that, but you also can't let it go. Like, you've got to convince them that they're wrong. And then when they say, okay, I don't think it, they're just saying it to get you to shut up. So you can't quit. I like the obsession, the self-destruction. It's kind of like the Seinfeld episode where the guy has such a reputation for making women hate him. And Elaine has to find out what it is. And it's simply, he tells her she has a big forehead. And now she can't stop looking in the mirror and adjusting her hair and everything.
I do not. You do.
Sometimes just something so simple can just destroy a person.
Yeah, there's so much. Again, there was I won't get into any specific details or anything, but there were so many things about this movie that was just like, oh, this is like literally from fighting in hotel, like little things like this. It was just like, Jesus Christ, could this movie punch me anymore? Take kids and stuff out of the equation. There's so much in this movie that was just like, God damn, Bruce, why did you have to do this week?
When I was in my very early 20s, late teens, I traveled the world quite a bit. And I've got to tell you that the very thirsty European cougar is a real thing. So I love that character being in this movie. The friend who's in the, she's in the open relationship with her husband or whatever. And the wife, the female lead or whatever, just can't accept that this person is happy living a life different than hers. And I think that's showing us that there's some character flaws and pathos in her too at this situation, because it's not enough for her to make her own decision not to lead that lifestyle, but she can't give up unless the other woman sees that she's wrong, because there can't possibly be more than one right way to live in this woman's mind. I mean,
possibly, or she could just be, unlike this other woman, there's an easy enough argument that she's lying to herself as well, that these are that she is fine with these things and whatever. So there's an argument to be had there.
Yeah, but is that her argument to be having with her in that point? The lady says, I'm fine with it, then you got to let her be fine with it. If she's lying to herself, you're not going to convince her otherwise.
That's true.
I think she was lying to herself. I think that the one who can't accept it is really almost envious of the freedom that the other one has. And in order to not be envious, she has to convince the other woman that her freedom is bad.
Well, no, she is kind of trying to do that, because I think in a way, because we've known at this particular time and everything, that she's very, she's not happy in the marriage here and everything. So she is looking at her being, doing the things that she's doing. And I think you're right that her condemnation of her is coming a lot from places of jealousy, of wanting to be able to do these things, but is locked down with her situation and whatnot. So that is how she's kind of trying to say, no, you have to be like me. You have to, take the slings and arrows like I'm doing. Even if your thing's not, exactly what you proclaim it to be, it's something that certainly looks appealing to someone who's going through, whatever she's going through in her relationship at this point.
And, it's got nothing to do with relationship topics, but just other things. I just kind of relate to it because there's people that say something that I straight up, don't agree with. And I'm like, okay, well, I think differently, but I'm not going to argue with you about what you believe. I respect your right to believe it, and they just can't let it go. They got to have me say to them, "You're right and I'm wrong," or they can't let it go.
Those are the worst
and
ones.
That's what that lady felt like to me. And it was like just this. It wasn't even a full out argument. It was just like the subtle nagging. Have you seen? I think it's called Storytelling. It's like two stories together. One's called fiction. One's called nonfiction. Is it Todd Solange? Does that name even make sense? Is that a real director?
Yeah, that's a real guy. I'm like, his movies are not the happiest of films, so I don't tend to watch a lot.
It's the one. It's
it probably is Todd Solange.
I can't remember the lady's name now. She's not Sarah Michelle Gellar, but the girl Sarah Michelle Gellar kissed in Intolerable Cruelty.
Man, we are going down a hallway here, Bruce.
Yeah, well,
you're getting further and further away from us right now.
Well, she's in the movie anyway.
Okay.
But there's a kid in there that, like, his housekeeper is crying, and he asks her why she's crying, and it's because her son went to prison for sexual assault. And he's like, well, shouldn't he go to prison for that? And she said, well, my son didn't do it. He's in prison, but he wouldn't do that. I know my son. And then the little kid won't give up. He's like, but you don't really know he didn't do it. I mean, he probably did it, right? And he just can't let it go. And he just stays there like nagging at her. That's kind of what this lady felt like. That's the very bizarre trip that this thread took before I got to anything like a point. And then we banged.
Hey,
he nailed it.
People are learning on the show in real time. The thing that I took away from the movie this time around is that it's a really interesting choice to make this guy so normal looking, like he's not schlubby. He doesn't look like the King of Queens. He's just a guy.
He kind of looks like Eric Swalwell.
He looks like somebody who can ski. Like he looks like somebody who like takes care of himself. He looks like somebody who probably has been to the French Alps a couple of times. Like he just looks like that person. So to make that the character instead of somebody who just looks like a dope who might do this in the first place is a really interesting choice. I think it's a far more interesting choice than putting Will Ferrell in as your lead. Like having Will Ferrell be the lead of a movie like this you're just showing your hand immediately. Like this guy had it in him all along. This was the thing that was going to happen. Whereas having him look like somebody who might in fact save his family is like, it's just a far more interesting choice to me.
Also talking about the European perspective and how it's different from our kind of USA POV, but the Tomas, the father in this, is what I call a European 5, because if you've been to Europe, there's a ton of these guys where the face is nothing special, but they're all like slender and they dress nicely. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, our USA 5s are like Peter Griffins running around. So there is a big difference, especially I've been to Scandinavia and it's intimidating.
Well, they look like, and I think that's part of the thing is like from the outside, this looks like, your perfect little Swedish family here and everything. The kids are adorable, which by the way, rare in movies, an actual brother and sister duo is the kids. I thought that was kind of cool.
I didn't know that. That's why they were so convincing.
The Wettergrins. Which, by the way, that's another thing with this movie is that every actor in this movie, their last name sounds like you can buy it at IKEA.
Oh, I got one of those. But it didn't have an Allen wrench in it, so
Yeah,
the Kuhnke.
Now, my favorite thing about this movie is how beautiful everything looks, and I don't just mean the cinematography, but I mean I love the big, clean, open area in this ski resort. I just love the way the Alps look. They get that great shot at night that you swear has to be like a matte painting or something. But then as they back up, you realize, no, that is the real deal. And I've been to the Swiss Alps and the Austrian Alps, but never where they're at here on the French Alps. And this looks amazing. Our ski resorts here in West Virginia don't take your breath away quite like these two.
No, come on now. Listen, don't hide your light under a bushel like that.
Yeah.
Shine it out for the world to see.
I think everything's beautiful about this, though. I think that
I do too.
I love this resort they're at. I love the shots of them on on the ski lift, the shots of them going down the, down the, whatever you call them, the ski lanes. What do you call ski lanes?
Slopes?
I'm not a skier. Yeah, going down the slopes.
Ski lanes.
It's just all so pretty and so beautiful, and they get the lighting so great on the scene where like the whole family is in one bed. A very European thing, I think, and you just watch these things that seem foreign to us because I guess that is a foreign country, but like mom and dad going down and partying with their adult friends while the two very young kids are up in their room alone. That's like just something that we never did with our kids.
Or leaving your children alone with the cleaning man in there who's smoking a cigarette, doing God knows what. Go into this room. There's someone in here. Fuck you. Hey, shut up. We're trying to fight. Our marriage is on the line here, kid.
Henceforth, that hotel worker will be known as European MVD. So European MVD is one of my favorite parts of this too. The way he just has no F's to give while he's sitting and staring at them having their argument. The guy's like, "Could we have a little privacy?"
That was my first chuckle. The first real laugh was the Game of Thrones guy, but the first chuckle was him just standing up there smoking a cigarette like, I don't give a shit about none of this.
Also, European smoking, very different than American smoking. It's kind of nice to see some of that again in a nostalgic kind
You're
of way.
Smoking with purpose in Europe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here we go.
The American kid that sits at their table is great because most of the other Americans I ran into did look like those trust fund babies like that. It was spot on.
Mm-hmm. Fortress Bucks.
MVD has dropped a tenner on us and says, the funniest part of me watching this is that I did it at work, and during a very quiet ski scene, I heard a very loud carnal sounds coming from the room near the front desk.
Oh, man. You're going to have to write a book someday.
Man. I can only
see at the Circle 8.
I can only imagine. Stuff like that, forget it, man. The stories that any people in hotels, you could probably start filling books. I'm surprised that there's not a giant series, of just books about hotels and the wacky things that go on.
So Sean has already seen this, but I want to ask you, Adam,
Mm-hmm.
when they're skiing in whiteout conditions, first off,
oh my God,
I don't think you should do that.
No, I don't know how anyone
should.
let them up there. Why did anyone allow anyone to go anywhere near this stuff? It's madness.
I think they're like, oh, we're Swedish. We're used to this. We don't follow the rules. But they took their kids with them. And then he left his kids unattended when his wife got hurt. And I think he's trying to be heroic and impress her in doing that. But the first time I watched it, I thought it was just the opposite. How did you feel about him abandoning the kids in that whiteout condition?
This man made every mistake the possible in the book for this entire trip. He's just like the guy, like he sideshow bobs himself into every rake he possibly can. It is horrid. I got so mad at him from doing every move that he makes. I'm like, you, sir, are an idiot.
The first time I watched it, I was convinced that he was going to wander off and never see his wife or kids ever again.
Listen, there was a possibility of it. I was just like, is this how everyone dies? Ugh.
And then, Sean, you said you could see this ending coming from 15 miles away?
Yeah.
You knew there would be on a bus and stuff?
Not the bus part, but that you're going to see both things. You're going to see one, you're going to see his heroic moment, like you're going to see that, and then the second thing is you're going to see the wife basically pull the same exact thing.
Exactly. Now that I didn't see coming myself, but I loved it when it did happen because
you have to have that in a movie like this, because it's either that or you're going to have something that's so bleak that he just walks away from the family by the end of the movie, which
you have to watch Anna Cristo to cheer yourself up.
It's just a different movie at that point. And I think, because it's called a comedy, I think that's the thing that made me go, well, then he's going to have his heroic moment and she's going to have a face turn here, because it's the only way this movie can end. It's the only way it can end.
Man, I was waiting for this movie to end like The Mist, dude.
I was expecting them to walk down the hill. That's the part that really got me, is it's so much easier to walk downhill than uphill, and that's where they were going anyway.
Man.
But they turn around and walk back up the hill to the resort. That part confused me.
So Adam, I gotta ask the question, and if it's too personal, please, you don't have to respond. But is there a moment in this movie where you were just like, "Oh my God, that is my like I'm literally looking at my past self"? Is there like, getting into arguments with your wife and stuff? Like,
yeah. Like specifically in a hotel, that was very much like this and had the kind of levels and the ring on the outside, just like all these. You're open there in the middle. It's like, 100%.
Yeah, and what I'm asking you is there one moment where you're just like, have they plucked this from my own experience, or is it not like that?
No, nothing quite specific, but it's just like a lot of the vibe, a lot of the kind of, the way that they interact with each other and stuff like that, especially how, she is like in the beginning and stuff, you can kind of, before you really know anything's kind of going down, you can tell something's happening because just the way that she's acting and moving and stuff like that, you're like, something's not right here. And yeah, right away, it was just like, all of this. I don't know the plot of this movie because all I saw was a hilarious comedy. I'm like, shit, yeah, let's roll. And
I had a very similar moment to the ending of this movie when I was in Madagascar, riding like this truck that this crazy Malagasy guy was driving, and I was just absolutely telling him to stop. Please stop and let me out. And he said, "Do not be afraid of me. I'm a very good driver." Only had a accent that made him sound like either Ren or Stimpy. I can't remember which one had the weird accent, but it's really gave me flashbacks. Is it Ren? I didn't watch
Ren.
Well, he had a
You
Ren
didn't watch
accent.
Ren and Stimpy?
Nah, I was in college. I was watching Animaniacs.
you're not smart. I don't know.
Sir, Ren has the Peter Lorre accent, and Stimpy is Larry from the Three Stooges.
Okay.
Very easy.
So
Yes.
Billy West probably did both voices.
Yes, he did.
Because he does a great Larry Fine. That's how I knew it had to be Billy West.
He does, and he even I can't remember where I saw him, but they were like, "Can you do a little bit of Larry for us?" And he went, "Hey, Bo, I peed on my shoe."
Now, am I allowed to do a
brought the
Peter?
house down?
Am I allowed to?
The house down? Like I had never seen something so small get a laugh that big in my entire life. It was literally like it was like Evening at the Apollo for white people. It was the craziest thing I had ever seen in my life.
Is it offensive if I do a Peter Lorre accent?
No.
Okay, because
Why?
sometimes you just don't know.
Why would it be offensive?
Because people might not know it's Peter Lorre when I do my impression of the guy.
It sounds like Jar Jar Binks, though, but let's proceed.
"Do not be afraid of me. I'm an excellent driver." That's kind of how you'd say it.
it's
Congratulations,
so
Leslie.
scared.
You just committed a hate crime. Congratulations.
We didn't think it was possible, but he made it racist. I don't know how he did it, son of a bitch. God, we were just like, Peter Lorre, just a white guy. How can he fuck this up? And sure enough, he comes in and drops the biggest. My God, we're getting demonetized now. You thought it was bad for a week. We're toast now, kids. Thanks, Bruce.
Darn that Peter Lorre. He gets me in more trouble than any other.
The Peter
person in
Lorre
Hollywood
estate's
history.
going to be honest, like nobody's business.
I'm going back to Marty Feldman from here on out.
If we can, if Lucas can use those voices for episode 1, we can do whatever. I mean, come on, man.
No,
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
Yeah, and that's
At
why I was
least
told
said
Bruce
Peter
when,
Lorre's name several times before I did it.
he-
Don't call me racist. Just remember, I don't do impressions.
Yeah, it's not racist if it's just a bad impression, right? Right? Sure. What?
Like, let me throw this Mickey Rooney impression at you.
Uh-oh.
Ready? No, I'm not going to do it.
And then he just starts
awesome.
singing. I will say this. It was funny when he got kind of when they were stranded out there and everything, and he's telling them to kind of just like do his like primal scream therapy and stuff like that, and he's screaming. Obviously, we can tell that, you know, the actor's doing a good job and kind of not really giving that full scream there and everything. But when he started cursing and screaming in Swedish, because I've watched PewDiePie for a couple years, I know what proper Swedish cursing sounds like, and I'm like, there you go, that's a Swedish curse right there.
Oh,
Hold on, you just buried the lead there, Fortress. You've been watching PewDiePie for a couple of years?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
For a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. It's actually, but the more he's grown up, the less I've watched, believe it or not. But yeah.
Isn't that like for like kids?
Listen, he's like, the man's almost 40 at this point. So,
no,
you know.
I understand that. I understand that people age. What I'm asking you is that you like he's for teenagers, right? Like, I mean,
like in the era that I kind of started watching him was kind of his like crazy insane days and stuff, where they was just kind of like, he had a whole bunch of money. He had like bought a little studio there and everything, and would just do wacky stuff. You know, just I don't know,
wacky stuff like the Nazi things with the Indian guy.
That was a different thing, and that's that's a whole nother episode to talk about, because none of that was what people think that it is, and because they weren't watching, everyone has a certain idea of what things are, and I'm like, you didn't see it.
We're gonna need a palate cleanser. Bruce, do your hilarious Peter Lorre impression.
Oh, do not be afraid of me. I'm an excellent driver.
Oh, that's a killer.
Straight out of Casablanca, isn't it?
Can't you just, like, I picture Tim Burton style animation when Bruce is doing that voice. Do it again.
Like Large Marge or what?
No, just like if Tim Burton just did like an animated series, whatever this voice is would look like, I don't know. It would go into some sort of Tim Burton world for sure.
If any high-powered animators are looking for a voice actor, you could email me at Laundry Room Bruce.
That's true. Maurice LaMarche is going to cost you a lot of money. Bruce Leslie, however, Capri Sun and a ham sandwich. You're going to get a whole day's worth of work out of him.
Dude, I've done way more just for my name and a credit.
Yeah. Hey, listen, who amongst us? What else about the movie? Listen, I hated this guy so much. I wanted to just slap him the entire time and just be like, can you just, it would behoove you just to say, I'm sorry, I screwed up, I'm a moron, mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. It would have been way easier.
All you have to do is just admit that you screwed up and just just take ownership of your faults and your failures.
Or say I was running to get help.
Yeah. Come on, at least
if
come
you're
up
gonna
with
lie,
something.
at least make it a believable lie. Don't gaslight.
Yeah, his entire thing was just like, no, that's not what happened. That's not how I remember it. Well, how do you remember it? I didn't do that. Oh, okay, fair.
Boots. How could I run in ski boots?
How can I run in ski boots? Well, I just want to just choke him to death. What an idiot.
He is right, though. It is exceptionally hard to run around in ski boots. It's very hard to do that.
They did look.
But he did run away.
Yeah, they looked good, and that was like, you can definitely tell everybody had been skiing and stuff before, and so you can tell when things are faked and stuff like that. Yeah. But I'd never been on a couple of those different types of ski lifts before. I thought those were interesting. The kind of like one that looks like you're going down like a rib cage or whatever, where you're just kind of standing on the thing. I've never seen that before.
Airport people mover. I thought it was cool. Yeah. I've never been skiing ever, so I've only been on like those ski lift things at amusement parks to give you a good view or whatever. Never been on a real ski lift.
Oh, those are good. So the one I don't like is, now they had one in this one where it was kind of like that long thing that they grab onto and it just kind of drags them up like that. I've never done that, but I've attempted to do the one where it's kind of like at waist level there and everything. You're supposed to just grab onto that and have that bring you up. It. Boy, oh boy, can I not do that. I can ski fine. There's so many things that I can do. I'm very physically capable of doing this. For whatever reason, my body does not want to understand how the hell any of that works. I just fall over and it's like I'm a limp, dumb baby that has to just be drug up. No, listen, I'm not getting up any other way. You just got to hold on for dear life as it drags your fat carcass up the thing while everyone, like, there's like a 3-year-old that's holding on to it, looking at you with disdain and everything. You're just like, just let me live and die. Come on,
I never
people.
took you for a skier there, Adam. This is news to me.
I did a couple of ski trips. One of them, I made a joke and popped my knee out of joint, so I couldn't do anything the rest of the time. I made a shit joke, and I screwed myself up. My life's great. What can I say?
Are you a skier at all, Sean?
Yeah, they don't let you leave Connecticut unless you know how to play tennis and ski.
You got to get your skiing license.
I skied quite a bit. The thing is, I hated my lot in life when I was younger. Like I hated that, like where I was and everything about my life at that point. So I was a liar, and I would lie constantly. And so the second time I ever went skiing before that trip, I kept saying to my friends, I was like, "Oh, listen, I'm a really terrific skier. Like I've been skiing a bunch of times. I hadn't. This is literally I had skied literally once before that." And so I guess I figured, oh, you know what? We'll just go to on the ski trip, and I'll just immediately be amazing, even though I've only skied for one day of my entire life before this. So I get to the ski resort. It's the ski resort called Sundown, which isn't even a great ski resort. It's pretty crappy. And I wiped out so hard coming down at the end because my friends were at the bottom of the mountain, and I wiped out so bad that I literally smashed into the side of like where all the skis are kept.
Oh,
almost like a movie, and they all like almost tipped over all the way, where like clumsy, like fall over, like, isn't this hilarious? Like something you might see on like Perfect Strangers when Belky goes skiing. That's kind of what happened. And I'll never forget it. My friend turns to me and he goes, "So you don't actually ski?" and I, because I couldn't come up with a lie good enough, like I wasn't smart enough to come up with a dumb smart lie at the time, I was literally like, "No, I can. I just wiped out here. That's all." And it like for the rest of my time with that dude, he would bring that moment up, and I'd be like, "I know. Yes, I lied. I'm sorry I lied about it. I don't even know why I lied about it, because at the time I wasn't deep enough to know what the hell I was like, what was my problem." It took me years to learn that. Like, well, oh my God. I'm literally like filled with so much self-hatred for that kid right now.
Four-wheelers are the skiing of Appalachia. And when I was in 8th grade, there was a big birthday party where this guy's uncle owned a four-wheeler shop, and he just had a bunch of four-wheelers and was going to let all the kids ride through the woods around the strip mine area. And, you know, when you came to get your four-wheeler, he's like, "So you know how to operate one of these? You've ridden before, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," which was a pure straight up lie. And within 20 minutes, I had jumped off. Like, I broke my arm is all that I did, but the four-wheeler did like this thing all the way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like a seven. Well,
tumble
in modern times, it'd probably be like a $15,000 four-wheeler. But yeah, so that was bad. And I crawled up, and I had like ran in. Do you guys know what boysenberries are? Or it might have been pokeberries, maybe not boysenberries, might have been pokeberries. But I had like
hold on
red a second. All over my shirt.
Hold on a second. Let's not go any further. We got to hold on a second. So you ask us what boysenberries are. Something readily available. They make jelly out of it, right? Like, people know boysenberry. You ask us if we know what boysenberries are, and then you just gloss over pokeberries. Pokeberries aren't a thing, sir.
Yes, they grow on a poke bush.
I've never heard of pokeberries my entire life.
Oh, we watched some movie where they had a song in it called Poke Salad. And I talked about how you had to make the salad right or else it was poisonous. So the poke berries grow in the poke bush. You use the leaves to make the poke salad. Poke berries are poisonous, but they stain something awful. And it stained my whole shirt like this purplish red, and people thought it was just like blood streaming down my chest. But it was the berries.
Here's what the scientific bull crap is called. That Bruce is talking about. It's a real thing, but
it's a poke bush. I have one growing in my backyard that I have to destroy every spring, and it always comes back the next year.
I just don't understand that you literally ask us about boysenberries, but you just fly over pokeberries.
Well, I just realized that boysenberries may not even grow in the region in which I was in. I think I used to call pokeberries boysenberries because I didn't know what they were really called.
Pokeberries and poke salad are amazing. I'm able to read that one. Nice.
Now, please don't eat the pokeberries, Alex, unless you really like spraying stuff in your toilet. But the salad's good.
Oh, my word. MVD drops, he says, a much better ski resort movie is Icebreaker, starring Sean Astin and Bruce Campbell. I've seen that film.
Hey, I've seen Better Off Dead, and that's the only ski movie.
It's funnier.
Yes.
Snow
Hell
everywhere.
yes.
Snow everywhere.
Listen, Better Off Dead is one of the greatest comedies of that era.
Yeah.
Hands down. I don't know what's happening with the rights of that movie because it's not easy to find that movie.
And the director had a cool name, like Screamin' Jay Holland or something like that.
Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. It's One Crazy Summer that's hard to find, which is like the unofficial sequel to that movie.
Yeah, same director.
All right. Well, it's all come down to this. Bruce, what is your rating and recommendation for Force Majeure from 2014?
It doesn't work as a comedy. We've established that. It's also an uncomfortable drama, but it looks really nice. Like, watch it with the subtitles off so you don't quite know what they're talking about, and I think you'd enjoy it more. And I'm not trying to make a facetious joke. I think you could really enjoy this if you had no idea what the dialogue was. But unfortunately, I had captions on. So it's being generous giving this 2 stars, but I'm in a generous mood. 2 stars.
All right. Sean, what do you got?
You know, another thing about this movie that's a nice side effect. If you were like me at the time when I was younger and I was, what's it called? A liar. And you want people to think other things about you. This is one of those movies where you can go, you know what actually is a movie that really is thought provoking is Force Majeure. So you don't actually have to see the movie. You can just keep it in the memory banks. And you can say to somebody you're trying to impress when they're like, "Hey, so you're just shooting the shit with like your wife's best friend's husband, and you have nothing in common with this guy. You'd never think you're ever going to see this guy again." And he's like, "Hey, so what? You watch movies? Oh yeah, I got some recommendations for you. Force Majeure. It'll really make you think." Like that kind of thing. And then that guy is going to think that you're deeper than you actually are. It's like the people who can recite Shakespeare off the bat. They seem a lot smarter than you because they are able to recite Shakespeare. They're not. They just are good at memorization and they've memorized lines from Shakespeare. That's fine. That it's a fake kind of intelligence. That's what you've just done, but you've done it with Force Majeure. And for that reason alone, I'm giving it 3 stars.
Oh, beautiful. The pretentious 3rd star.
That's right. It's a fake 3rd star. It's the 3rd star of pretension.
I love it.
Yes, exactly.
Listen, I think Sean's right. This is more of a like, hey, we can throw this up as a scenario for you and have a conversation off of that. Do you need to spend 2 hours in the wallow? Maybe not. Maybe not. It's also fun. It's also fun because it will tell on some people. This movie. This movie will tell on some folk because I've had it happen. But yeah, I ultimately can't really recommend it. Like I said, I think I'm with Bruce. I'm like about 2 stars feels about right here. It's not a badly made film. It's just not one that you're going to want to go back to. And again, I'm so glad that I hit the rent option as opposed to the buy option because I would see that son of a bitch sitting in the little Apple queue all the time, just going like, "Hey, buddy, you remember me? You ain't watching this shit ever again, are you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Great first date movie because it will really let you know if this relationship can handle stress.
Man, I feel like this is like this this feels like a movie I could have possibly seen with the ex-wife at some point. That's like, but this movie would have felt like one of the best movie going experiences we ever had, and by best I mean worst. Was going to see Terrence Malick's movie. What was the one that he did with Brad Pitt?
The
Tree of
Earth-
Life.
Tree of Life.
Tree of Life.
Yeah.
So we're in Tree of Life. We are the only two people in this theater, and I can feel her just twisted in her seat the entire time. The credits hit, and she goes, "What the fuck was that?" And I look and I go, "I love that movie." It's like,
Oh man.
I feel like this this would have had not the same sort of vibe, but there would have been a different thing in there that would have just it would have been something interesting to see instead of our last movie being Tusk, which was like, boy, what a way to go out with Tusk.
My first day off probation for picking Eraserhead, and I picked Shrunken Heads. So I have terrible.
The man likes going back into jail. What can you say? Some people have a penchant for it. They just go like, man, I got to get back inside. That's where Bruce lives, everybody, on the inside. So we're going to continue on our foreign films you might want to check out series. Next week, Sean is in charge. Sean, what do we got?
We are watching a movie called Intacto from 2001. If you've never heard of this movie before, let me pitch you. Imagine Bloodsport, but with luck. There's your movie. It's really, really fun. It is a very fun movie.
Now,
As much fun as this?
But what is? What is? Really?
Few things can come to quite the level that Force Majeure comes to.
Look, man,
Excitement.
I'm just glad that we're not like this is week 2 now of Sammo Hung. We're going into week 3 of Sammo Hung. Man, that would have been the worst.
It was the only.
I would have been
movie
the worst. I would have been the worst co-host ever. Literally, I'd be like, "Did we learn nothing from Jackie January?" Like I would have been so fucking.
We learned nothing.
Force Majeure was the only movie I could think of that wasn't either a giallo or like this modern ultra gory horror. So,
I think he also wanted to sound exactly like the person Sean described of the smart friend that just goes like, "Well, as a matter of fact, I think Force Majeure may be but like you literally described the thing that Bruce did. So, and here we are.
I should have picked the bird with the crystal plumage.
Oh, man, it'd be interesting to see Sean's reaction on some of those. Well, that'll do it, everybody. Join us next week as we continue our foreign language films for idiots with Intacto. For Sweet Sean's a Kovacs from the internet, Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Portraits, reminding you to get out there and watch some movies, you dirty babies.
Fortress Bucks.
Shit, wrong button.